Welcome to this week's episode of the Go No Be Golf podcast. This is an interview conducted by Oliver, and I chip in a wee bit because, as you know, I can't keep quiet, with Robin from the Renaissance Club in East Lothian. Renaissance Club hosts the Scottish Open, has done for the past few years, so it was really good insight into what goes into organising such an event and just the kind of day-to-day runnings of a golf club. So hope you enjoyed the interview as much as we did when we recorded it, and thanks again to Robin and the guys at Renaissance Club for their hospitality.
Hello, Robin.
Good afternoon,
nice
Oliver.
To see you again.
Welcome back to Renaissance Club.
What's been happening?
Well, we've come off a very busy summer. We're now in our winter season. It's great, firstly, to see you back here at the club. And it's
Thank you very much.
every time you come down here, the sun shines, which is amazing. Although it's slightly colder today than the last few times you came. And we are busy planning for next year. And we have a number of winter events taking place, but we have large summer events for our members and obviously the Genesis Scottish Open. So we're very much in the busy planning phase for next season.
Great. So I met Robin when I was involved in a charity called Rays of Sunshine, who'd make wishes come true for for ill children. And Robin was the main person in organising it.
I worked with my
One of
colleague,
them-
absolutely. No,
One of the main.
It was lovely to welcome you down with your family on that day, and it's great to see you wearing some of our branded golf clothing today. So thank you very much for being one of our ambassadors.
You're very welcome.
And it was also a highlight to have you back down with your club professional to take on our club professional, and my colleague Steve, who was involved as well with our charitable foundation. So no, it's an absolute pleasure, and we hope to see a lot more of you over the coming years.
Thank you very much. Pretty sure we won that, didn't we?
You did.
Thank you. So about the Scottish Open and organising it, what sort of role do you have in all that?
So my role here at the club, and the title being Vice President Operations, is more, although we are a golf course, we have a clubhouse where we are now with a bar restaurant. We have accommodation here at the club. So we have a housekeeping department, we have a property maintenance department, we have kitchens, and we have a member services department, which in a hotel world would be reception and concierge. We have a golf operations team, which run the pro shop, organise all of the tournaments for our members, as well as obviously all the outdoor golf activity from the driving range to have everything set up for the members when they're teeing off and coming off the course. And also, most importantly, our golf maintenance team, headed up by Jamie Aiken, our head superintendent. So we have a large team that ranges from 80 members of staff at this time of year. That can double in the summer, can triple, if not more, when it comes to actually hosting the Genesis Scottish Open week. And my role is very much just to make sure that every department knows well in advance what they need to be doing to make sure that tournament runs perfectly. And the sponsors, the players' families, the caddies have an amazing week here at Renaissance Club and want to come back and play in the tournament next year.
Very, very important role then. So when it comes to the members during the Scottish Open, how do you attend to their needs?
In terms of our members, everything we do every day is to ensure that the members have a great experience at their club. This is their club, it's a private members club, and everything we do is to make sure they and their guests enjoy their time here and experience one of our core values is world-class service. Hosting the Scottish Open is an honour. It was one of our primary aims when the course was created by the family and the Sarvadi family, who had this vision to build a world-class golf course to host a world-class golf tournament. And in doing that, we want to make sure that our members, although the golf course is closed for the 10 days over the tournament, can still come and experience the Scottish Open and feel proud to be a member of the club. We have a special area at the back of the pro shop, which is dedicated to members, with a terrace overlooking the 18th green. We also give over our halfway house down at the 10th green for our members only. Our members have the opportunity to make a donation to our charitable foundation and play in one of the pro-ams on the Tuesday or Wednesday. They also have the opportunity to attend the Renaissance Club Charitable Foundation Gala Dinner on the Tuesday night, where some of the players will come along and attend. So we do try and make the members appreciate the importance of what the Genesis Scottish Open does, not just for the club, but it's what it really does for East Lothian, what it does for Scotland, putting us on the map. You can't underestimate the impact of the television coverage, having a tournament with the world best golfers in the world screened over Sky Sports and the American cable networks, what that does to showcase Scotland as a venue to let's go over to Scotland, and that benefits everybody. We have in excess of 36 volunteer greenkeepers that come from different golf clubs from all over the world to help our existing team of greenkeepers. And we book a caravan park in North Berwick for 2 weeks for those greenkeepers. The business for that caravan park is fantastic. So it really benefits everybody by having this event here in East Lothian, whether it's the hotels, the restaurants, the taxi drivers, the local shop owners, the employment it offers to the staff that get to work, not just in the club, but for the DP World Tour, whether it be marshalling or working in one of the food concessions on the course. It goes way beyond what some people realize when they're watching the 4 days of the golf tournament. And I think it's important that we never lose sight of the impact we can do to sort of help people within our community. We have our own charitable foundation that was set up to make sure that we support local charities. We have just on the other side of this pillar, the Penny Pit Trust Angel Tree Appeal, where our members from all over the world are making donations that will help families here in Prestonpans, Trinent, Mackenzie on Christmas Day have gifts that otherwise wouldn't. But going back to the Scottish Open and hosting that, I think it's really important that we remain in everybody's minds around the world as if they want to go overseas and play golf, they want to come to Scotland. And ideally, when they come to Scotland, they come down to East Lothian.
In the summer. It's cold.
Absolutely. But then saying that, we had a group over last week from America. We did our big fireworks event for our members beginning of November, and we had groups over from America playing golf. It was very mild October, November. So one of my goals is to extend the golf season. And by extending the golf season, where we can sell appropriate clothing in our pro shop to let you enjoy golf in the colder days, it allows more employment. For our, whether it be for our suppliers that are supplying food and drink, whether it be for our caddies that get employed, whether it be for our own staff who get additional hours working in the club. It's hugely important for us that we try to extend that busy April to September golf season, albeit we're not as warm as Florida. But when you look at somewhere like Scandinavia or Iceland, we're a lot more attractive to come and play golf here than you are there at this time of year.
Maybe you should just get big heaters all around the golf course.
I think see one of the benefits from the lift East Lothian gets when the Scottish Open's here, and the fact that you can walk into a coffee shop in North Berwick and Mickey Fowler holds the door open for you. Like just the interaction between the golfers and the public is massive, and I think that's a big thing for the sport as opposed to, like as we were talking about earlier on, other activities. Like if you're a footballer, you're flooded with an entourage and you're whatever else, whereas these guys can just go and jump on one of the courses that's local, you gets a bit of experience to links golf and then comes up to here. So I think definitely you guys being here, having the Scottish Open, and it definitely brings a lot of people and eyeballs into the stadium, which can only be a good thing. And then, as you said, you're doing these good charitable things for some of the other areas that do need it.
And it's, I think that's, it's never, you know, we as members of the staff here at the club, you know, we're family owned and we're treated like family. Our members treat us like family, and that extends away through to how we treat everybody that comes in contact with the club. Whether it be the planning meetings that we have with East Lothian Council and the emergency services and everything else leading up to the Scottish Open, to during the event. You know, I'm always, things that make me proud working here, it's the small things. It's seeing a colleague arriving at 4:30 in the morning when we all start on the Scottish Open. The first thing they do is take teas and coffees over to the night security guys and ladies who've been working all night without being told, without being asked. They've been doing a night shift, making sure that the site is safe, and the first thing they do is get them a cup of tea or coffee. That's the bits that make me as proud as seeing the winner walking onto the 18th green to receive a trophy, because it means we're doing something in the community for the community. And as you mentioned, it is very much everyone feels part of it. Sometimes you see or hear of events where the event kind of almost isolates itself from the local community.
Yeah.
If you look at the Olympics in Paris, what did they do? They closed the subway.
Yeah.
Or London was just an absolute chaos for the people trying to live and work in London when the Olympics is happening. So we've got to be very sensitive to the fact that people still need to get around and do their jobs and go and see family, and whether they're caring for older members of the family or taking younger members of their family to school or whatever they're doing, we have to be very sensitive to that. And I think that's important that we kind of have that at the forefront of our mind. And certainly our members, some of our members, a lot of them will volunteer and give up their own time for nothing to work as the marshalling team, for example, which is incredible to see these men and women give up time with nothing in return other than pride in making sure that the event runs safely and smoothly. We have also another number of members who come and support the event, whether it's coming and supporting as a spectator and enjoying themselves, bringing friends and family. And then we also have another section of members who respect the fact that the course is closed for 10 days and they'll plan their trips either side of it. So we're in a very fortunate position that our membership is very understanding of why we host the Scottish Open and the importance it does, not just for the club or them, but actually for the community.
Well, it's a great course, having played it a couple of times now. I was also lucky enough to marshal in one of the Scottish Opens in 2022, which, funnily enough, it was also sunny then.
Oliver brings the sun.
Absolutely.
And it was, very great event, great experience.
What is your membership here?
In terms of
like how many do you have?
So we slightly different model here. We have family memberships.
Okay.
So if you're a member here, if it's mum and dad and 3 children under the age of 30, they're all treated as full members. So unlike some golf courses, if it's mum and dad and 3 children under the age of 30, they might need to pay for 5 memberships. So it's a family membership, which I think is probably more common in the States than it is in the UK. My background is hotels. So I started in hotels back in the late 90s and worked in hotels for 24 years, and then sort of transferred into the leisure sector, worked in museums. I had my own consultancy and started working here from the beginning when the first Scottish Open was held here. I've always been a social golfer, but I've understood that the same principles apply. Whether you're going into a golf clubhouse or a hotel or a restaurant or a bar, everybody wants to have a warm welcome, really enjoy the experience and have a fond farewell. The principles of service don't change whether it's a golf club, a hotel, bar or a restaurant. And so I think that's the bit for me is with our membership is that it's the small touches that make a big difference.
So that sort of kind of answered my next question, which was, how did you get into this role?
Through, how did I get into this role? It's a good question. I knew a couple of members, and when the first Scottish Open was held here, the club, as they do every year, bring in additional staff to support the operation. So I came in originally to work for the Scottish Open as on the operations to support the team that was already here, and I worked for 4 years here for the Scottish Opens and for the larger member events. And then during COVID, when I was working at the museum, National Museums of Scotland, I also undertook an MBA at Edinburgh University, and on completion of that, I was looking for a new challenge in my career. And that's when I spoke to the then CEO. We discussed, they had a new global title sponsor with Genesis taking over the Scottish Open and plans to grow the club, which we're doing as we speak in terms of the new accommodation that's coming on board. And it was a lot is down to timing and being patient. And it just, having had the 4 years experience of working here in the summers, I knew the club and the club knew me. So it was just the right time for a number of reasons.
And what sort of makes the Renaissance Club unique compared to other Scottish courses?
Great question. What I love about golf is every hole and every course is different, and every course is different. I think we're very lucky in Scotland compared with maybe some other countries where we are blessed with the landscape, which adds a huge amount to every golf course. And if you were to ask me, my favourite hole in golf is probably the 10th at Dufftown up north, where you spend the first 9 holes climbing a mountain, and the 10th is you hit the downhill all the way. And it's the memories that you have playing the courses with different people. I think what makes Renaissance Club special is the history of the land. We're nestled in between, on the next to world-class, world-famous golf courses that have been in existence for 150 plus years, and yet we're less than 20 years old. And through an incredible vision of the family, and Tom Doak, our architect, has very much used the natural landscape to create this unique course. We are fortunate that we are in East Lothian on this strip of land, which everybody will know is an extremely fertile piece of land in the UK. So we're blessed with Mother Nature. But we're also very fortunate that we are a course that is not overplayed. And I always use that example as my grandfather's lawn was immaculate because no one is allowed to go on it, versus my neighbour's lawn whose kids and dogs played on it. It's exactly the same as a golf course. The more traffic you have on a golf course, the more damage is done to the fairways, particularly in the greens. And we're lucky here that we have a philosophy where our members, we have no tee times. Our members turn up and they play. We don't want our members feeling rushed to get here for their tee time, to miss a tee time. For me personally, having played in different courses, certainly down south and in some of the courses in East Lothian, I get very nervous playing on a golf course where there's 3-4 balls in every hole. I feel I need to keep up with the group ahead of me, and I feel intimidated if there's people behind me waiting, and I don't enjoy that experience. So I think the fact that we are a quieter course in terms of the volume of golf rounds that are played every year. We also have 3 or 4 holes next to the clubhouse, so members can tee off on the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, the 16th. So there's always a nice flow. There's very rarely a queue at the first tee to let people go and play their rounds. So yeah, it's a number of different things. But I think the one thing you can't see it now. We're sitting here in the dark, but it's everybody comments on the quality of the course. I mean, you look at it even at this time of year, and the greens are like snooker tables. And again, it's just a privilege to kind of look at them and hear the members and their guests come off the course. You've had the opportunity to play it, and it's not an easy course, and certainly it's not designed to be an easy course. It's designed to be a challenge, but also it's fair. The greens are true, and the work that goes in this time of year makes it what it is every spring and summer.
What's your favourite hole on this course?
I think the 10th being the signature hole, which is the kind of the dog leg. How brave do you want to be cutting off and trying not to end up on the beach?
I'm not cutting
anything. I probably prefer it because I know there's a hot pie waiting for me at the halfway house afterwards, but that's probably a different reason to do it. I love the 17th. I think the 17th par 3, they've got put in a new bunker last year. There's a huge bunker front left, and it is usually you're at my level of golf, you're starting to get a bit tired at the end of the round, and it's just that last opportunity to, you're protected by the trees, but you're not really because the wind comes up when the ball gets near the green. But I would say the 17th. If I had to play one hole, it would be the 17th. I also quite like it because it's unlike some of the 6th hole, which is next to the clubhouse. I don't like being watched. So
I'm not sure if you're going to know this one, but can you share sort of the history behind the design and development?
So it's one of our of the Savadi brothers, there's 6 Savadi brothers, and there's actually 3 sisters as well. One of them is actually here at the moment, and he's writing a book of the history of the Renaissance Club. So I've read snippets of it, but and I don't want to ruin it by letting you read the book to read it for yourselves. But in short, it was a vision by the father, George Savadi Jr., who had 6 sons and 3 daughters. And as that happens when you all grow up and have families and they spread all over America, following their own careers, they decided to bring the family back together for an annual tournament every weekend, once a week, one weekend a year, sorry. And through that, they kind of reconnected as a family and around the game of golf. And it was at one of these annual tournaments that somebody suggested, should we build a golf club? And just through a series of different events, and one of the brothers was over here when the Open was next door at Muirfield, and was introduced to the representative of the Hamilton family, which owned the land where the club was built and developed. And they couldn't believe that it was just across the wall from Muirfield. And there was a golf course under this woodland, because it was all complete woodland. All completely redeveloped. And from that, 3 years of personal investment and perseverance, eventually then broke ground, opened the course in 2008, and then gradually added originally the lodge next door, which is bedroom accommodation, which was the clubhouse. Now the clubhouse, we've added the 2 villas. We're now adding another 16 accommodation buildings. So it's very much a vision of the family built as somewhere for members to come and enjoy forever. This isn't a short-term vision. It's a family legacy business where they want families and members and their guests to come and enjoy and build something. And one of our motto is rare indeed. And I think that's very true in everything we do. We don't copy what other courses maybe do, and we don't judge either. Everyone has their own business to run. And for us, it's creating this kind of sense of relaxation and fantastic golf course, but somewhere you can come and relax afterwards and really enjoy time with your friends and family.
Sounds like a good reunion.
Absolutely.
I've played quite a bit in the States. I do get the feel that this is kind of an American course in Scotland.
Yep.
You know, the whole halfway house thing.
Yep.
The fact that you're saying you don't have any specific tee times. It's very relaxed. You can just turn up.
The caddies and boiler suits.
There is that as well, yeah. It does seem to be a very kind of...
And that's copied from Augusta.
American course in Scotland.
Yeah, and it's all these little bits that have been brought from different clubs, and the opportunity with the new club is you can bring in what you feel is right to create your own unique experience. Yeah. Our motto is with our members, the answer is yes, what is the question?
Okay.
And that's a good way. And that kind of comes into a lot of hospitality now. I won't mention names, but one of our members went to a very well-known club down south and arrived at 8:02 to check in. Said, flight was delayed. Can I get some food? No. Kitchen closes at 8. Can I get a drink? No. The bar closes at 8. And that was it. We would never do that. If somebody arrived, that's a culture. It's a mindset. You have to be hospitality for me, and that's where my grandparents were wine merchants, and then my mum and uncle took it over. It's either in your blood or it's not in your blood. You can't fake hospitality. If you love what you do, it's contagious, and if you don't like what you do, it's very obvious. So you have to be very careful. For us, it's the training, the development, how we treat our staff, how we train them, how we respect them as humans, and understand the whole picture of how we can make them happy to come to work. And that's really important for our members and their guests to come in. It's a fun place to be in, to spend time.
So, Robin, tell us a bit about your current handicap.
Well, if I go back, I only got into golf in 1986 because my mum wanted to watch Fergie and Prince Andrew get married. So my dad took me and my brother out to play golf at Dalmahoy, and that's how we got into the game. And very quickly fell in love with the social aspect of it. And I would say I'm a very sociable player that doesn't enjoy the competitive side. I love a match play. I'm not good at stroke play. My handicap currently is 15 point something. I haven't checked recently, but then haven't put a card in over the summer because I don't want to. I don't play over the summer. But for me, golf it's the camaraderie, and it's also the integrity. It's the one sport that you can find your ball in the rough, you can find another ball in the rough, but you're only cheating yourself. There's very few sports that are self-ruled. So, for me, golf is all about having that time away from the screen, time away from your phones, time in the fresh air, walking, all these good things that everybody tells us we should be doing. But it's also spending time with like-minded people, whether they're your friends or people you've never met. You share a common interest, that being the game of golf. And what I love about it is that your next shot could be your best shot you've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And you have no idea where that next shot, where it's coming from, but you're going to keep trying.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what I love about the sport. Unlike I used to play team sports, whether it be rugby or football, very badly. You soon realise when your body is going, I can't do this anymore. Whereas with golf, there is that element of a handicap system. We don't have here ladies and gents and juniors tees. We have white, yellow and red. Depending on your handicap, that determines where you play off and your ability and which direction the wind's going, quite frankly. But we're also building silver tees. So silver tees is for members of a certain age, whereby everybody knows that youngsters hit the ball miles, and it's the first thing that goes as you get older, where you don't hit the ball as far. And the aim for silver tees is that irrespective of how far you hit your drive, you play the same club to the green. So whereby the long hitter might be hitting an 8-iron from 180 yards, 170 yards, but then the 75-year-old golfer is hitting his 8-iron 120 yards. So we move the tees on the longer holes. Yeah. So basically everyone is not hitting the ball from the same position, but the vision is you're hitting the same club into the green, which I think is a fantastic way. We have golfers of all abilities here, but again, it's a modern club. We're a family club. We have an amazing locker room downstairs, which has plunge pool, steam room, sauna, amazing showers, wooden lockers, but we have identical for the ladies. Absolutely identical. We have shoe shining services, and unlike some clubs that have a man in the male locker room polishing and cleaning the shoes, we have our member services desk. So male and female members can get their shoes cleaned. Why should it just be? So I think for us, we have a vision of, we are family orientated. There's a lot of family staff. I have my children working here, and again, some of the owning family have had their children working here through university days as well. And it's just that kind of wonderful feeling that you do have that kind of unique feeling within the club that is slightly different to a corporate club.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favourite club? Apart from here.
As in golf club? As in the one I hit or the one where I play at? So my favourite club is a 7-iron. But actually my favourite golf club, I would say, I was very lucky growing up. My parents used to rent cottages around different parts of Scotland, and St Boswell's down the border is an amazing golf club. It starts at 2 par 3s, which is the perfect way to start a golf round, and the next 7 holes are along by the riverbank. So you got 4 holes trying not to hook it into the river, and another 4 holes coming back up trying not to slice it in the river. So I kind of grew up on those smaller courses, Inner Leith and Nethy Bridge up north, Boat of Garton. And what I love about those courses is they don't get the coverage and the kind of golf magazines of, look at the big courses that are almost like the bucket list courses that you have to play, which is almost a little bit like when you go to visit a city. Have you visited Paris? Tick. Have you visited Rome? Tick.
Yeah.
But for me, I love courses for different reasons. I think I was fortunate to play in Zimbabwe, and we played some amazing golf courses there. And back in 1998, when my brother lived there, but yeah, one of the funnest parts we did was we stayed in a bed and breakfast in Zimbabwe, and the bed and breakfast's kind of unique selling point is they had a driving mat in the car park, and you could hit golf balls over the fence into Mozambique. And then the next day at breakfast, these 2 young boys, they come and sell you your golf balls back. So they jumped over the fence to get them back for you. So I think, golf is one of those things that, yes, I would say probably Gullen won for me. The first time I played that was very special. I played well, and it's just an amazing feeling when you get up over the hill. But there's a lot of smaller courses that I think are just amazing. I grew up playing Prestonfield. When I lived in Edinburgh, so Prestonfield was the club I played when I was growing up, which was just incredible. But that's what I like about golf, that everyone can have their favourite golf course, for different reasons, and there isn't a right or a wrong. And I think that's what's good about golf in Scotland, is it is accessible to everybody. We do a lot of work here. Yes, we're a private members club, but also we do a lot of work with East Lothian Golf. So we have the juniors, we have the ladies and the men's team all practice and play here. And we work with Stephen Gallagher Foundation. So his squads come down and practice and play. We also work with local schools and the council to bring younger golfers of all abilities down to not just play the course, but to have lessons, to use the practice facilities. So it is kind of part of the community that, yes, as a course, you can't turn up and pay and play. That's, everybody knows that. However, there is work that is being done to support golf at the grassroots, and again, a lot of work done with the DP World Tour in the kind of build up to the Genesis Scottish Open is to have that opportunity to showcase. We had 15 to 18 children, aged between 15 and 17, come down from different schools in East Lothian, and we spent time with them in the clubhouse, up on the range, down at the greenkeeper shed to talk about a career in golf. Some people think, well, what career can I have in golf unless I'm cutting grass or a club professional? But there's multiple different roles that you can do within golf. And you don't have to be good at cutting grass, and you don't have to be good at hitting a golf ball to have a fantastic career in it. And I think the one thing I took away from that was their eyes all opened up when they realised the work that the golf course maintenance team do. Yes, it's maintaining the golf course, but it's the machinery, it's the agronomy, it's the irrigation system. We have full-time mechanics down there. Every grass cutter, once the fairway's cut, that grass cutting machine gets put up on the ramp and gets its blades realigned, so it's perfect every single time. It's incredible, and they were all blown away that this is a career that maybe some of them hadn't thought of here in East Lothian, that maybe they weren't wanting to go down the road of a customer-facing role or being stuck in an office. So I think that's an important part we play. That, you know, as an industry, it's a great industry to kind of get involved with because you can go anywhere with it. You're not tied to one area.
And what sort of advice would you have for maybe a youngster or oldster to get into a role like yourselves or
I think
something else?
I think what I would say to anyone wanting to come into an industry is look at it in the long term. You know, I've had a lot of friends, whether it be at university when I studied hotel management, to friends that I worked with in the hotel industry over the years that maybe had a bad week or a bad month or a bad experience and just quit the industry. But the grass isn't greener. And somebody once told me it's all about how much you water the grass you're standing on. That's the important thing. And what I would say to anyone coming here, no job is the same. No day is the same within the golf industry. But unlike any other industry that I've worked in, I'm talking hospitality, everybody walking through the doors here is coming here to have a good time. Coming to play golf. You work in a hotel, some people won't be coming for business. They might have just left their family. They might be coming for a business meeting where they know it's not going to be good news. They're not always going to be that happy, friendly. But here in a golf club environment, people are coming to play golf. And unless they've had a really bad day, they're going to come off the golf course and they're happy. They're going to have a drink, maybe have some food and talk about their day and meet other golfers and talk about golf, and there's golf on television. And it's an incredible feeling when you think, I'm going to work and I'm surrounded by positivity. You know, there's a lot of people I say that there's nothing my job can't fix in this industry. Some of it might cost money, but it can all be fixed. If you're working in, you mentioned you work in the police force or people that work in hospitals, sometimes the news isn't good. There isn't a solution. There isn't a happy outcome. But with this industry, there's always an outcome. And our job, my job to pass on is to say, just find the solution. Because with anything that's thrown at you, there will always be a solution. But it's something that you know, I've never had Sunday night blues. I get excited going to work. I don't want to say I get bored on the day off, but you come here, you're surrounded by your colleagues, you quickly become almost friends in terms of you're spending so much time with them. Your members become really friendly interactions with them, and of course there's a professional relationship. But again, I would say to anybody, whether you're wanting to do customer facing roles, whether you're just wanting to kind of start off here in East Lothian, we bring in a lot of youngsters to start off in the kitchen, working as a kitchen assistant, and they work their way up. It's a great industry to get into, particularly if you don't know what you want to do. And I've got teenage children, and nobody as a teenager knows what they want to do for the rest of their life. But you're not going to waste your years working in hospitality, and certainly not in a golf club, because you can use that time to learn life skills. You earn money. You're forced to, whether you like it or not, communicate, whether it's with colleagues or members eventually, and you become a better person. And I feel more passionate about that now since COVID. We've had a couple of members of staff who are now probably 3 years in, and when they started, they could hardly speak to an adult because they'd been at home for 2 years with COVID and lost that socialising, and now they're off travelling the world and running the restaurant floor. They're 19, 20 years old. And the confidence, that for me is like why you should come into the industry, is to watch people like that. Now, it's not for everyone, and I never would say that's for everyone. If you want to go out every Friday night, and if you want to have every weekend off, it's probably not the industry for you. But after a while, that gets boring. And you work in the industry as well. Sometimes there's nothing nicer than having a Monday off when you know everyone else is going to work. So there's a flip side to it.
It's clear.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just one of those things, and it's easy to get into. You don't have to have qualifications. You just need to have an attitude. I want to learn. And I always say, anyone with the right attitude, I can teach anything. If you don't have the right attitude, that becomes a bit more of a challenge. But equally, people's attitude as you grow up and mature within this industry helps you massively. And it's a lifelong career. And believe it or not, turning 49 next month, and it's something I would look back on and say I haven't genuinely never enjoyed a day in it. There's days that are tough, but it's not tough compared with other people's jobs. It's all relative at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's all my questions.
Great. Good as well. Yep.
For us, it's just kind of, as I say, our role here is to kind of continue to support the community and support our members and all of our staff who live and work here. And we hope that you can come down and enjoy the Scottish Open for many years to come. But no, absolutely, it's all about having those experiences. That word of mouth is very important in any business. You can spend a lot of money on advertising, and even more so youngsters now that think they can do it through Facebook or whatever else they advertise. Nothing beats word of mouth. And if people can say, actually, I had a great round of golf there, that's worth more than any amount of money you're going to spend on digital advertising. But we're a small community, and we just want to kind of be at the heart of that and hope people come down here and enjoy their golf. I can't promise it's going to be an easy round, but you're going to enjoy it.
Well, if I come, there'll be sun. So.
All of us should bring the sun.
Absolutely.
I'll bring my bowler suit as well.
Thanks, guys.